What a terrible week it was for The View, per usual. Two of the show's greatest race baiters, Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar, got themselves in a little trouble in the span of a few weeks for raging against Trump's immigration policy and golden visa program while putting their cheap identity politics on full display as usual. Just watch this for yourself and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
In terms of the immigration thing, I think this is not that different from what happens in Europe. You can have this sort of golden visa through real estate in places like Portugal and Spain and Greece,
a lot of the
Caribbean. So this would be the most expensive golden visa. But I think what's fascinating to me is that, yes, he ran on immigration, and he ran really on the southern border, because we know we also border Canada, and that's actually the largest border. But they're not really going into Canada and looking for those Canadian people that are kind of jumping back and forth.
This is a misnomer. It's not Canadians that come across the northern border. The northern border crisis. No, it's people coming from other parts of the world, India, Mexico. But there's not a bunch of Canadians flocking. There's probably more Americans going to Canada right now.
That's not true, because I spoke to Governor Whitmer about it. But
that was a misunderstanding.
Am I hearing this correctly? Did Sunny Hostin just try to make the case that the only reason the southern border is a bigger issue is because of the race of the people coming over?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
My God, I don't even know where to start. The northern border sees around 20,000 encounters a month, with numbers dropping sharply under Donald Trump. That doesn't even lie in the same universe as the conduit for human smugglers that the porous southern border had become from illegal migrants from across the world. Even as far as India wanting to step foot on U.S. land through Mexico, and even that has seen a sharp decline, according to latest numbers from Axios, dropping to the lowest number of border encounters in decades. By the way, this is a great time to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this, so you don't miss our daily takedowns. So tell me, how on earth can you mangle that data to see it through an ugly racial lens? That's a task you can always trust Sunny Hostin to do, and it's truly a sight seeing even Alyssa Farah Griffin trying to stop her making a fool of herself like this on national TV.
The point is, he was all about immigration from the southern border, and those immigrants or those migrants look a certain way. So it seems to me this was never really just about immigration. It was about a certain type of immigrant. And so now we have this million, these,
Can I just clarify, though?
Can I finish talking?
Yes.
Thank you. So it's okay for Russian oligarchs to come over. It's okay for people with money to come over, but it's not okay to provide a path to citizenship for people that have been here, like the DACA recipients, for other people that look a different way.
So just to clarify, because there is a border crisis on the northern border, and it doesn't get nearly as much attention as the southern. The numbers aren't as high. It is not Canadians crossing from Canada into the United States.
Who is it?
It is Mexico and India are the two largest places that people are coming, because they're seeing that it's actually easier than going through the cartels and going through a more secure southern border. So if they have the resources, that's what the northern immigration has nothing to do with Canada.
Yes, thank you, Alyssa. There's absolutely no comparison between the northern and the southern U.S. border, much less on a racial basis. The North has just one country with a border that's frozen most of the year. The southern border has more than 30 countries across it, which much greater push factors that incentivize people to search for a better life in the US. And did Sunny just try to use the DACA receipts as a talking point here? Both Trump and much of the current administration holds a much milder stance on Dreamers under DACA, with even Donald Trump saying he wants to work with the Democrats to work out a path for citizenship for them. And also, there's a dozen other ways to get a legal pathway to citizenship in this country, one of which is the new Golden Card visa, which is similar to the citizenship by investment programs that many other countries in the world have. And despite all of the vital context, guess what happened the exact same week on this channel? Well, Joy Behar went on a pretty problematic tirade against Elon Musk, questioning both his citizenship and loyalty to the United States for being a foreigner.
He's not really bright enough to handle the job. And Elon Musk kisses his butt and strokes his tiny ego, or big ego, whatever it is. And he doesn't get to he can take a nap while the guy who was not born in this country, who was born under apartheid in South Africa, so has that mentality going on. He was pro-apartheid, as I understand it.
He's a naturalized citizen.
Right?
Now.
He's a naturalized citizen.
Now he's a naturalized citizen.
Oh, really? How did he do that? Did he come over the border legally?
He had an H-1B visa, I
He
believe.
flew in.
Yeah, he allegedly overstayed that visa.
Yeah, but I think this is just perfectly wonderful for Trump. He can take a nap and let this foreign agent, an enemy of the United States, do his job.
Anybody else?
Did you see Alyssa Farah Griffin there at the end? She's just grinding her teeth in cringe because she knows exactly the line that Joy Behar possibly crossed into legal slander. But I think Elon Musk has better things to do than going after Joy Behar for a couple $1 million. But what's even more damaging is how the panel just can't stop striking their own knees like this and becoming a parody of themselves every single time. I'm sure that's quite a headache if you're a producer on The View, because they literally had to signal Whoopi Goldberg to stop the show immediately so they could tell Joy Behar to offer an official retraction on air before it was too late.
What happened?
We gotta go.
Say what? What? Say it. I can't hear you. What?
We'll talk about that when we come back.
Oh, okay. We'll talk more about this when we come back. This is one of the reasons I love this show. Go ahead, Joy.
I was just going to say that now I'm getting some flack because I said that Musk was pro-apartheid. I don't really know for sure if he was. He grew up at that time when apartheid was in full bloom before the great Nelson Mandela fixed that. He was around at that time, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He might have been a young guy, too.
Might have been.
So don't be suing me, okay, Elon? They're allowed to say any lie they want, but we have to be really strict. That's why this show's important.
Yeah, it is.
She can't even apologize in good faith. Look at those facial expressions in the longest 10 seconds of her life when she has to walk back something she said about Elon Musk. And it exposes just how pro-immigration they really are when the biggest attack vector against Elon Musk they can think of is that he wasn't born in this country and is instead a naturalized citizen. So they've got no problem with the millions of illegal border crossings at the southern border, but God forbid someone they don't agree with comes into this country legally to build multiple business empires. That's the level of cognitive dissonance that you can only find on The View. And that also caught Alyssa Farah Griffin this time because she gave a pretty bad take on why Elon Musk was even picked by Donald Trump for Doge in the first place.
I don't like Elon. I wouldn't go as far as to necessarily call him an enemy of the United States yet. Let's give him a little bit of time. This is my gripe with Elon Musk. There is a world in which having him for free advise the U.S. government could be an asset. This is somebody who made incredible investments with EVs, with Teslas, with SpaceX. I've toured what they've done in NASA. He is a brilliant person when it comes to rocket science, engineering, not federal staffing. Like that, we're using him in the dumbest possible way, in the way that he is least qualified to be used. And it just doesn't really make sense to me.
That is just wrong. Musk isn't just an engineer, he's a master at leverage, which means getting the most results out of the smallest resources. Look at his companies and you'll see the pattern. What made Tesla or SpaceX so revolutionary isn't the technology alone, it's how cheap the technology got to the point that it could be commercialized. That's exactly what he did at Twitter when fired 8% of its staff in the first week to get rid of the chaff and bloat at the company. And that's the role of Doge at a time when the federal government, which is the largest employer by far, desperately needs to cut its expenditure and reduce its fiscal deficit. But you can hardly expect all that nuance to make its way onto The View, so let me know in the comments how you process all of this and share this with people that have an important voice to add to this conversation. I think only time will tell whether this administration lives up to the public mandate it received this past election or not.